need a break. So I've been working pretty much constantly since 2019. Very little vacation, very little free time. And in my last couple of videos, you might actually see I look a bit tired. Although I sleep well, but there's just so much stuff going on that I need a little bit of a break. And today's video is pretty much a break. I'm not saying I'm quitting YouTube. Not saying that. Not sure what I'm saying. Check the intro, now figure out what I'm saying. After the intro. I need a break. Alright. I definitely need a little break. Pretty much working constantly since 2019, working on projects back to back. I think Gunslugs Rogue Tactics, it was a little bit of a failure, so I quickly dove into Space Grunts 2 when I was still wrapping that up and then actually pushing 21 updates every week, an update, so 21 weeks, 3 months, do the math for, I don't know, a long time. And I was also working on Snake Corps already at that point. And when Snake Corps was released, I started Residual, and we're now reaching that 1 year anniversary of working on Residual. Probably my biggest project. Ashworld was my biggest, I think, at 11 months, 12 months. Residual isn't done yet. It's almost done, but even then, it's gonna take some time for it releases. So I've been busy and I need a little break. All right, so being a full-time game developer doesn't mean you're actually developing games full-time. In fact, once you start becoming a full-time game developer, like I did many years ago, well over a decade, let's not go into the details, a bunch of extra stuff happens and you need to focus on that because you're now running a business. It's not just game development, you're running a business. So there's always stuff happening, and usually my whole Monday is filled with admin stuff, and that's handling emails, handling requests, handling all the boring details and things I don't want to handle, but you need to handle unless you can hire somebody who does all that work for you. But in order to hire somebody, you need to make a lot more money. So it's a very big thing, and I'm not there yet. As soon as I am, somebody's gonna take over all this boring stuff and I'm just gonna be a game developer. Probably not, because then you have people to manage, and before you start becoming a full-time game developer, think about it. Just think about it a little bit longer. Just saying, just saying. Now, besides being a full-time game developer, I also decided to do crazy things on this YouTube channel and upload a video every week. And in recent weeks, I've been uploading 2 videos a week. I need a little break. It's been a lot. I need a little break. So this video today on this channel is gonna be one of the most random videos on this channel. I got a bunch of random stuff that doesn't fit in a normal video, and it could be fun to just talk about it. All right, so now I hear you ask, what is random stuff? What are we gonna talk about? Just a random example. This corner over here is a bit of a junk corner and it's rarely shown on video, but I've been hiding something here I've been talking about it before, but I've also been hiding it now that I already have it for some time. This is the iArcade, and it's an amazing, awesome console arcadey thingy, running Android, running my games. I can't really show you the iArcade yet. It's a big thing, it's an awesome thing, it's an amazing thing, but I can't hook it up to my PC just yet. It's missing a bit of a cable or a certain thing. It's being shipped, so until that cable arrives, I'm not really showing you the iArcade, except for now this sneak preview. It's been here for weeks, I think more than a month now. As soon as I can get my own games running on it and I can show it, I got an awesome idea for a great intro with it, a fun intro, and then we're gonna talk about the iArcade. So that's just one of the random stuff that's been happening in this office. And there's a lot of random stuff like that that I don't really talk about, but I could in this video because this is a random video. Like these figurines that I've been claying and painting. And this is pretty much how they start out. A little vinyl figurine that you can do stuff with, and then I turned it into these two, which is just some side hobby project. This is how I spend my free time, the little free time I have away from games, with random stuff like this. So same goes for this guy that you might have seen on the channel already, because he sits here on my desk, and random stuff Or I could talk about the fact that I got almost sued by the people behind this little fellow. Ash, the living dead, that stuff. They mailed me suing me for Ashworld. Which is crazy because Ashworld is actually based on Mad Max. If I'm doing any copyright infringement, it would be closer to Mad Max than to Ash. Just because there's Ash in the name, they sued or tried to sue me, which was crazy. Now I had some sleepless nights over that whole copyright infringement problem, but that was mostly because I opened the email like at 10 p.m. just before I went to bed, or 10:30. I read that email and it really hit me and I was really in panic. And then when I woke up the next morning, I was like, wait a minute, there's no basis for this. I did Google them. It was all legit, true lawyer company for the whole company behind Ash, the Living Dead. But there was no problem there because I was not doing any copyright. There was no Ash. Actually, the whole working title of this game was Rage World. And it only turned into Ash later on. And sure, there's a chainsaw for this dude and it has a blue vest on, but it's a 10 by 10 pixel art little guy, and it's mostly actually based on a fighting game and not Ash. So I mailed them, this is just stupid. Buy the game, play the game, and you'll figure out that you have no basis for this whole copyright stuff. The lesson learned here, the random lesson, I never since opened email after 10 p.m. I just shut down, don't read messages. I might be on Twitter or on Instagram, but I won't read any emails or stuff like that after 10 p.m. because I just want a good night's rest and everything can wait till the next morning. Random lesson, good lesson, and I never deviated from it. All right, little random question from the Discord. Do you actually still play games, and if you do, which ones or types and on what? So yes, I do still play games. The last games I played are Bad North and Need for Speed Most Wanted on my phone, and hang on, Dead Trigger 2 on my phone, which is an interesting first-person shooter. It's kind of interesting how it plays on mobile. So I do want to play The Last of Us Part 2 on PlayStation, and still the God of War, the latest one, like the Viking version. Haven't played those games because I've just been soaked in all these game projects. So hopefully I'll find some time after Residual is gone and done and over with, and I'll be able to dive into those bigger games and just sink a couple of days into it and complete them. So I do still game, just not as much as I'd like to. And another question coming in just now from Genji. What game ideas you find are the hardest to implement from a game dev point of view, and what game type would you like to try the most to create but still had not got the chance to do so? Whoa. Game ideas find hardest to implement. Honestly, no idea. Nothing from the top of my head. Maybe I just avoid those ideas. And what game type would you like to try the most? I would like to try a first-person shooter with pixel art. I'd also like to try a top-down racing game. I think those are the two at the top of my list that I would like to try, but I'd need to learn a bunch of new stuff for those games. So it would need extra time to prepare that. But those are two game ideas I'd really love to try. Completely random. I'm not good at music, and music is the one thing in my games that I let other people who are much better at it do. But somebody mailed me this program he created. Hang on. So I'm very terrible at music, but this program, and this is just me playing around doing weird and funky stuff, and you could be a lot better at this, obviously, if you take some time and effort. So that was me doing random stribble gribble thingies. That was 5 seconds of work. So imagine that if you actually put some time and effort into this and not just do random movements with your mouse like I just did in 5 seconds, and it already sounds almost like a tune. But if you put some effort into this, I think you could really use it for your game jams or your games or your music. So link in the description below. I did get a free copy of the program, but if I don't like it, I don't promote it. So I kind of like this, and I like how easy it is, and even for me not knowing anything about music, I can make something out of this. If I need some demo tunes or whatever for a little game jam thingy, this is my go-to tool. So check it out if you want to see if it's your tool. Moving on. Speaking of random stuff, this is a controller, and this is Heroes of Loot running on the Xbox, which pretty cool. So Friedel has been doing most of the work on this, obviously. I just need to test it, see if it runs, see if it works, and I need to jump through hoops at Microsoft to make sure these games get released on Xbox. Apparently for every game you release on Xbox, you need to submit a form, and that has a bunch of questions that makes no sense, and then they will email you about it, and you'll have to answer some questions in those emails, and it's gonna take some time, but I hope to actually get through it with some Xbox games later this year. And besides Xbox, we're also working with PlayStation now. Just waiting for the dev kits, but apparently they have issues with COVID and Brexit, so those are taking some time to arrive. Lots of stuff, all part of being a full-time game developer. Also, this is Nikki, one of our cats. This is her brother, Safi. Also one of our cats, Judy, another one of our cats. However, if you've been on the channel for longer, you know we had actually 5 cats. One died, I think, November-ish. She was just very sick and she died. My big friend, the one that has been on camera the most, the red one, sadly died a few weeks ago. Big buddy, still miss him. So even though all those things happen, we just move on because we got work to do. And speaking about work that needs to be done, since last Monday I also have an intern working remote. So I pretty much give him some assignments, and he's helping. Actually, he's doing some work on Residual right now. So you're gonna see some of that eventually. Hopefully I'll be able to teach him something, and hopefully he'll learn from the stuff that I do. We'll see how that goes. It's gonna be a 6-month internship. Hi intern, if you're watching, and you should be watching. Can I force an intern to watch my videos? Not sure. And besides having an intern, I'm now also talking to somebody else, and we're discussing a game idea for a beat 'em up, which is also an interesting project. So a lot of stuff happening, and the break I need is mostly mentally. I just need to wind down every now and then. And these videos, actually making these videos, is just a good process for me. Every Friday I sit down and do these videos. And the fact that I look very tired sometimes is because I like to do them in the morning so that I have the rest of the day to do other stuff. But these videos help me wind down. It's just that I should not be doing too many videos or very long videos. It just should be a fun little project. I got a lot of stuff to clean up right now, but it was fun just doing all these angles. And this for me very relaxing, crazy as it may seem, because it's a lot of work, but it's relaxing, and I try to get a little bit more break, a little bit more relaxing in my mind, because there's just been a lot of development stuff happening. Everything it's been a long string of constantly working. So great tip for everybody trying to do stuff like this and trying to get into it. Try to relax and empty your brain every now and then. Relaxing is like a very important aspect of keeping all this stuff up. Also, this is just a Residual wallpaper I've been dumping on the Discord, and it just looks so amazing every time I see it. And all right, we got also have another question. Talk about random. Another question coming in on the Discord. What do you like the most about your work, and what keeps you motivated? So the thing I like most about the work I do is creating a world, creating an environment where a player can just forget everything, dive into this little world I'm creating and shaping, and have a good time, and maybe forget some problems and issues they have in real life, and just step into this world I created and crafted for them, and hopefully have a lot of fun there. And I know people are, because every now and then I get email from people saying how they enjoy a certain game I released, like Heroes of Loot. They spend hours in dungeons, and that's awesome to hear. And that's really what I like about creating games, creating this whole world where other people can just forget about real life for a little bit and just entertain themselves and be another character in a completely unrealistic world or environment. So that's what I like most, and that's also what motivates me, creating new worlds, creating new environments, and seeing it all come alive. Because at the start you have an idea, you want this idea to be something, and then months later, like a lot of months later, there is this whole planet and world, and if it fits that idea you had originally, it's just amazing to see it come alive. All right, so I'll wrap it up on this camera. I only have one camera. I move it every time. Anyway, final random stuff. A lot of people ask me about Residual. When can we play it, when it is done? I hope to have it all completed and wrapped up in March. So that allows me to wrap up the required stuff in February. This month, last couple of weeks, I only have one big thing to build into the game. And then in March we'll wrap it up with maybe some extra content and deepen the gameplay a little bit. To recap, since the Kickstarter for Residual, I also teamed up with a publisher. So I've been having meeting calls with them and the Discord, and also meeting calls with a PR company. There's a whole timeline, and everything will get known and will get out, and you will read about it in the next couple of weeks, month maybe. It's all coming, but before this game is going to be released, we'll also be porting it to consoles, we'll be localizing it, translations, stuff like that. So it's still going to take some months. There's a timeline, but I can't talk about all that stuff. Like I said, if you want to do full-time game development, there's just a bunch of things happening behind the scenes. And of course, the point of this whole channel is so I can talk about all those things happening. And I kind of hope that that's what sets this channel apart from all the other game developers doing YouTube. I want to show you the behind the scenes of doing this full-time, running a commercial game company, and all the stuff that goes around. And there's a lot of stuff going around, mostly in my head. And every now and then I need a little break. But I'll get there. When Residual is done, I'll take a little break. So the next couple of weeks I'll still be working, and then hopefully just a tiny break to relax. And now I'll have to clean up the mess because I dragged everything here. So hope you like this random video. I'll see you next week with probably a more normal video. Alright, bye.